Why people say depression isn't real. Before the video starts, make sure to drop a like, a comment, and subscribe, and follow all my socials in the description. A lot of people will get offended by this, and that's okay. I believe that being sad is real. I would never identify myself as being depressed. A lot of people who are depressed don't want to own up to it. A true masculine dude, or feminine woman, I would say, use that emotion that they have and actually use it to something useful. What I would be doing is I would be using that because the only way I could ever be depressed is if family members die. Because I'm going to have every single thing I want and desire eventually. I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to eventually be famous, I'm going to have beautiful wife and kids eventually. How am I going to be depressed? It's something wrong that doesn't add up in your life. The only one who's going to fix it is yourself. You have to take accountability for yourself. And the people who say that depression isn't real, like even myself, I don't believe depression is real. It's because I would never identify myself as being depressed. There's always some workaround. I have a very entrepreneurial mindset. There's always something, there's always some obstacle, and I know eventually I'll overcome it and I'll get stronger and better and smarter. Andrew Tate is pretty much spot on with what he says. I'll throw a clip at the end of the video, but to get where you want to be, you're going to have a mindset where you can't let certain things get past you. Like, think of it. If you want to be a true masculine dude, you're going to have to stick to your duties. You're going to have to do stuff even when you don't want to do it. You're going to have to go to the gym. You're going to have to go to work. You have to own up to it. A lot of dudes can't own up to anything, and they weren't taught by their fathers anything. So that's why we listen to dudes like Andrew Tate. A lot of people think he's a father figure to most people, but we're not going to idolize him, especially the women. The women think that all the dudes are just going to start beating up women and being misogynistic. Like they're literally lying to themselves. They're just hating on him for no reason. They actually have no solid proof that even hate on him in the first place. They're not worried about us. They know he's a good role model to dudes. They just have nothing to do except cause hate and drama. You guys can have an argument in the comments. Tell me something he said that was misogynistic. But oh well, who cares? Who cares? You can say something about misogynistic about a dude. No one cares. You gotta have a mindset where you just don't care about what people think. People in the comments comment on my buck teeth. I don't give a shit. I'm getting my teeth done eventually. You guys just gotta stop caring about what people think. There's too many insecure people in the world now. Social media really ruined your guys' brains. It sucks, but I'm here to help. I'll do my duty and you can do yours. Also, modern day feminism is a huge problem too. They want men to be submissive and weak, and a man can't even be a man in his own household. Very, very frustrating. And here's Andrew Tate's thoughts on this.
What do you believe about depression? Do you believe depression is a real thing?
I believe that feeling depressed is real. I don't believe depression as a clinical disease is real, no.
Really?
Correct.
You don't believe people can be clinically depressed?
I think PTSD is very real. Unfortunately, I have some friends who suffer from that. I know that feeling depressed is real. I believe that the number one power you have against these things are trying to take control of your own mind and affecting your own life. I believe that it's not healthy to hand over all your power and believe that depression is an outside disease that you can't affect. I know that when I've had difficult periods in my life, and also many of my friends, like I've said, suffer from PTSD and been through terrible things. I've lived a very difficult life, and I know people who have, that the things that made them feel better is when they woke up and said, you know what, I'm not gonna allow this to damage me anymore. I'm gonna take responsibility. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna fight this as hard as I can.
Right, and by the way, on that, I agree.
So we agree. If someone comes to me and says, I'm clinically depressed, or I feel very, very sad, I would say the first thing you need to do is stop accepting the identity of a clinically depressed person. Stop accepting you have no control over this. And what you need to do is stop identifying that way, and let's work together to try and fight against it.
But there isn't an eminent doctor in the world who would tell you there is no such thing as clinical depression. Who would not tell you that some people is simply beyond their control.
I think Johan Hari wrote a book saying exactly that, my friend.
But he's not an eminent doctor.
No, but he's
a journalist.
I said depression wasn't real long ago and was attacked for it. Then Johan Hari wrote a book which
What's
actually...
What's it got to do with Johan Hari?
Because he wrote a book proving me right. Most people...
Johan Hari's a journalist.
Sure. And my point is that a lot of people who are clinically depressed are suffering with something in their life, and if you fix the problem in their life, perhaps they won't feel depressed anymore. That's not a disease.
Yeah, but Andrew...
That's situational.
Andrew, you're simply wrong.
If that's what you believe, Piers.
That's what I believe.
I don't believe in things that take power away.
There is not an eminent doctor in the world
Piers
that would agree with it.
Piers,
Do you think you know more than doctors?
I can't become clinically depressed.
Why do you know?
Because I don't believe in it. I can't be haunted by a ghost if I don't believe in ghosts.
Well, that's like saying I'm never going to die because I don't believe in it. It's ridiculous.
Perhaps, but if it allows me to live a life where I feel happy and
content
within myself.
This is that little area where you lose me.
No, I don't lose you.
You are,
because
Piers, somebody with your following says
the thousands of people who have emailed me saying my doctor told me I was clinically depressed and it's a disease that I have got in my brain and I can't be fixed. And I started listening to you and I realized that that's not the case and I can fix my own life, and you're the only person who has ever helped me.
Oh, Andrew.
Thousands of people have emailed me that exact email. It's not ludicrous.
It is.
It's not.
If you said to me, we're in a victimhood society, it's got to stop, I'm with you.
Okay.
But the moment you try and deny clinical depression...
I believe feeling depressed is real. I do not believe it's a disease that you catch from the sky and you cannot affect. I believe that no matter what happens, I believe you have control of your own mind and you can fight against it. I believe if you change your circumstances in your life, you may feel different. I'll give you a quick example. I had a guy who emailed me saying he was clinically depressed and he was going to kill himself. I obviously am not a psychiatrist, I'm not a doctor. I told him, because I replied to my emails. I said, have you been to a psychiatrist? He said, yes, I'm clinically depressed. I've been on these pills, this amount of time. I'm on antidepressants, it doesn't work. I said, I don't know what to say to you besides this. And he said he lost his girlfriend, that's why I became clinically depressed. I said, listen, go to the gym, get a six-pack first. Once you've got a six-pack, email me again. If you still feel like killing yourself, I don't know what else to say to you. But I'd say, strong body is a strong mind, go train. He went, he started sending me progress pictures, emailing me him getting in better shape, and eventually got a six-pack. He's now a professional bodybuilder. And he said, I can't believe I was considering that. I feel so much better, etc. The doctor was telling him he was clinically depressed and couldn't cure it. He started taking control of his own life, and now he felt better. Now, I'm not saying it's the case for everybody.
No.
I'm just saying.
Here's my question, though. Have you seen the guy's medical records?
Of course not. I just told you the story.
So you're just taking his word for it?
I am taking the word of a man who emailed me with a bunch of medication and specific
So you're denying proven science because one guy writes to you who you help and you've not seen any evidence he ever had clinical depression diagnosed.
I'm denying the idea that...
And on the back of it, you go on your rants in public to tens of millions of people denying something because this guy writes to you and says he had it and you cured him. And I think that's a dangerous mindset, Andrew.
That's fine.
And that's where you don't have a responsible view of your influence over
Disagree.
people.
It's very responsible because I'm saving people's lives. I disagree that if you feel depressed, I disagree that you cannot affect it and change your life and take control and fix yourself and feel happier. I disagree with that.
Do you think
I refuse to accept that there are people out there who cannot become happy, contented individuals. I refuse to accept we live in a world where God has created people who, no matter how hard they work and how good their life becomes, can't be happy. I don't accept that. I accept that the universe is a very giving place and that God loves all of us. And if you try your best and you work hard, you can become a better person. And I also will argue with you, and I'll counter the point that you sitting here on your platform telling people they have clinical depression, there's nothing they can do about it, is far more dangerous. Okay, well then, if they have clinical depression...
Why do you misquote me?
No, because you're saying...
You hate being misquoted.
No, you're saying if people have clinical depression, that they have
nothing
a
to
disease.
do about it. They go to a doctor and they get diagnosed and they get help.
Then I would argue the point that if
it's the complete opposite of what you just said. I
would argue the point that if somebody has depression of any kind, whether it's clinical, whether it exists or not, whether they feel depressed or not, whatever, that taking control of their life, taking personal responsibility, and working hard is always going to be the positive, best thing they can possibly do for their life going forward.
How positive is
around them. So sitting here saying I don't believe in clinical depression, you don't believe in depression. No, I don't. I believe that people can take control and fight against things. Right. I believe in personal sovereignty.
Right. Fine.
Good. So we agree.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
Because you're on my side, afraid of being cancelled along with me.
As I said to you from the start,
that's all
I agree with a lot of what you say.
Completely. So
but I'm taking you to task over the stuff I don't agree with.
Sure.
And I'm just not sure you understand why it's wrong, which is in itself quite revealing.
If you made it this far, I love you guys so much. I'm going to be keeping up with this type of content forever. I love motivating myself, you guys. My next video is on modern day feminism. And you guys are going to freaking love it, especially the women, especially the dudes. And Tate in prison, he's probably going to watch it too. I'd say he would. And yeah, peace out.